KBLA Talk 1580. Happy Friday. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my very first thing every day, especially on a Freedman Friday, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Time to stir the pot. Okay, so this is how it goes down on Fridays. On Fridays, hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast. Hour two is Freedman Friday, where we have a comprehensive reparations conversation to make ourselves stronger, smarter, and more well-equipped to continue to make progress and win on this very crucial issue. And then hour three, we do whatever we do in hour three. We open up the phone lines, and today we'll be hearing from some folks around what's going on in Hollywood, but we shall sprinkle it in with some national topics as well. We got a lot going on. As usual, you are invited in every hour at 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. You're also invited in on the YouTube chat, which is KBLA 1580 on YouTube.com. And it's every other Friday. This is the every other Friday of labor activist, mama, and KBLA contributor Sherri Bell. Good morning, Sherri.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning to everyone out there listening today.
Sherri's got the t-shirt, sweatshirt collection, boy. That one's, I haven't seen that one before.
Oh,
BLACK, period.
Hey, you gotta be proud.
Yeah, and I think, you are also, you're one of these people I know that doesn't just talk about activism. You actually go out, hit the picket line, hit the protest, get in them streets, boots on the ground. And so I guess for that, you really do need a good collection of t-shirts and sweatshirts.
Yeah, and we're going to need more of that from people. We're going to need strong, backboned people to be out making calls and showing up soon. I mean, in these next 4 years, we got our work cut out for us, and we got to remain strong in our values and participate when and where and how we can to make sure that our values are protected and policies and things of that nature are enacted in our best interest.
Yeah, we were DMing one another on yesterday because what the actual F is wrong with Chuck Schumer?
Yeah, just come out early.
What in the world?
Right, that is like a major fumble. Like, what happened to negotiations, right? Like, you negotiate down to the last minute, right? I think that the GOP needs about 8 Democratic votes to get their spending bill passed, and Chuck Schumer is like, you don't worry, you got my vote, like right away without like pressure. I think the major issue with that is, number one, it shows a sign of weakness. Like the GOP would never do that, right?
Nope, they would not. And not only that, this may be the last leverage they ever have.
Yeah,
I mean, the Republicans have the House and the Senate. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to have a budget to keep the government open. And he's like, there's pain when people shut down budgets. There's pain already, you dumb.
Like, what are you doing?
Person?
Yeah.
I mean, because look, people have gotten laid off.
Mm-hmm.
USAID has been shut down around the world. They're cutting the school lunches. They're cutting Medicaid. The budget in this case is what causes pain, not the shutdown of the budget.
Right.
Yes, we know the shutdown of the budget also causes pain. Social security checks need to go out and all that. But these dudes are talking about cutting that too. So I don't understand that argument of pain when we're already in pain and the pain appears to be headed for an escalation.
Yeah, it's very disturbing that he would come out so early in support. There's like a lack of cohesion amongst the party. They're not in lockstep. There's no unified message. They don't have the wink and the nod of their leader. And, basically like we have everything that Project 2025 is like a playbook on everything that the Republican Party has planned to put in place, right? Balancing the budget on the backs of working class people, like our former labor secretary said, and it's like, that's not going to solve the problem. And more importantly, you're relying on a wink and a nod that they're not going to touch Social Security and Medicaid. There's nothing in writing. Oh, don't worry, we're going to pass this spending bill, but we're not going to touch Social Security.
Yeah, and we're not going to overturn Roe versus Wade.
Right.
Definitely not going to do that. We're not going to touch PEPFAR, international AIDS relief. Definitely not. Oh, and look, we put it right back. No, you didn't.
Right.
You didn't. So to your point, why would Senator Schumer think that Republicans are negotiating whatever little pathetic negotiation he did in good faith when they've shown zero good faith on anything so far this cycle?
That was not good negotiating. It wasn't in a pressure. Like, it wasn't like 11:59 p.m. and he's like, okay, like before the deadline, he's coming out giving them like a upper hand, so to speak.
Well,
and it's sad.
It makes you wonder. I mean, when people talk about the duopoly on the left or the uniparty on the right, it really does make you wonder.
Man, was he mad that Trump called him a Palestinian and said he wasn't Jewish no more?
Or did he get some of that Musk money for his next campaign or pet project? He's sprinkling around that $100 million. I don't know, but it makes one wonder.
It does.
Why are you colluding with these fools?
Yes.
You cannot be that stupid. I think that this is part of what I call preemptive surrender. Oh, Trump might come for me. He might get me. I'm going to lay down in the railroad tracks and let the train run me over because Trump might run me over. Get your butt up.
I think it made whatever Republicans that were not in lockstep with this bill, did not want this spending bill to be passed. It makes them wonder, like, wait a second, I don't like this. I don't trust this. And then we have a Democrat willing to, like,
Right. So now they've got to line up because if Schumer's voting for it, then I should too, maybe. I don't know. I think it's really terrible. Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders is out doing the Stop the Broligarchy tour, and he's drawing in thousands of people. If that's not a chart, like an actual data point chart for the Democratic Party to get off their butts and stop being so conservative, cautious, and complicit,
right?
I don't know what is.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
does Bernie have to, like, is he going to be like 150 and still trying to rally these Democrats? I know there's no point in it, but sometimes I can't help thinking what would have happened if they would have let him get the nomination like he was supposed to.
Who, Bernie?
Yeah, when they handed it to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I was on Team Bernie.
Same.
He was talking everything I wanted to hear.
Yeah, same.
I
mean, you can't put the genie back in the bottle in that sense because Bernie 2016 is not Bernie 2025.
Right. But yeah, it's just like you have people saying one thing and doing another, and it's like we need action. We not only need words, we need actions. And I don't know if what's going on across the nation and what's trying to happen locally, people, we got to keep our eyes open here. They try to screw up LA and California like Washington. Keep your eyes open. But if what's happening right now is not a wake up call to what they call middle America, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, I hate to be doom and gloom, but I kind of think we're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
I hate to say it, Sherri, but I kind of think
we are in trouble.
We're in trouble right now already. Like, people that are waiting for authoritarianism to arrive are, to me, you're not paying attention. When you can just arrest someone and say that you're taking away their green card because you don't like their politics, anarchy. We are in trouble. You call it anarchy. I call it fascism. I call it authoritarianism. I think it's here. I don't think it's coming. I think it's here.
It's here. It's happening.
Yeah.
People going to Gitmo for no reason. People been here 30 years getting snatched up. He trying to end birthright citizenship. Look, middle class, working class, poverty-stricken white Americans, non-black folks, this is affecting you too, right? Wake up. Stop thinking that you are a part of the good old boys club when you're not. Even some nonsensical blacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is time to get serious. This is actually happening. They actually showed us what they were going to do ahead of time. And it's getting enacted. And people, I know they're reeling nationwide. And if this isn't an opportunity to wake up.
I started off talking about you and your marching and protesting, and that is happening. I mean, the Tesla dealership is not a safe place to go shop right now.
Yeah.
People are marching and protesting, and I think it's just the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because it takes folks a long time. Some people, people who are trying to keep their lights on and aren't tracking every political trend, it takes them a while to really understand what's happening.
When that school lunch ain't there.
Right.
And when you can't go to the doctor.
Right.
And when you don't have enough food stamps to make ends meet. Or, you don't have child care and all the things that Project 2025 said it was going to do, regardless of race, by the way. This is a class war, right? It is about race because it's going to disproportionately impact certain people more, but it's going to disproportionately impact anybody who's poor or working class. And when those things start to hit the fan, I'm wondering will people start to realize, hey, you know what? This person might be willing to help black and brown people, but you know what? What they're talking about is going to help me too. Like, let me vote for this person.
Yeah, well, we shall see. I do not think it is too late. When I say we are in trouble, I'm saying just the opposite of what Chuck Schumer is doing. I'm saying just the opposite of what USC is doing. Preemptive surrender is not the way. You don't have to be loud like us at KBLA. You don't have to be loud and outspoken. But don't surrender. Don't put your belly up and say, please, slice me open and gut me. Don't do that. Yeah, we will look to the local as well, as we always do. But to me, this is also local because it's impacting the way everybody is moving right now. Don't get me started on Governor Gavin Newsom and Steve Bannon and doggone Charlie Kirk. Oh, I'll leave that one to you when we come forward. 800-920-1580 if you want to get in this conversation. I'm Dominique DiPrima. She's Sherri Bell, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
The revolution will not be televised.
What's up? It is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render, and I'm encouraging you to listen to more, not less, of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Senator Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Taxes was taxing. Now taxes is relaxing when you file for free.
I can file for free? TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. I can file for free.
Now this is taxes. File for free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your maximum refund. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, and student loan interest. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and for over 20 years, Parkside Economic Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, Mercury is retrograding. Sherri Bell is in the studio with me. Thank goodness. And you are invited in 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Kwamel from Gardena has heeded the call. Good morning, sir.
Oh yeah. You don't stop. Girl, let me tell you. Hello, Miss Sherri, by the way.
Hey, hello, Kwamel. Good morning.
All right. So we got to figure out what's happening here because as I've been talking about for a while now, our country has been groomed. The right always gets Americans with their messaging, and it's always to accept awful policy and awful people, whether it's as elected officials or different awful groups in society. And if the Dems can't begin to message to the reverse of that, to change to better policies and better people, then it's pretty much time to RIP this thing. And I mean RIP like rest in peace. RIP standing for recall, impeach, primary. That's going to have to be what...
You didn't mean RIP America. You didn't mean RIP Republic. It's over. We're about to have an oligarchy, authoritarianism, or a monarchy, or chaos, complete chaos.
I'm saying we might have to just get on our own mission of chaos and just recall, impeach, and primary a bunch of people ourselves to get the message like, look, we're not having a friggin' dictatorship. We're not having a bunch of robber barons. We're not having randos just diddling in our Social Security and in our Treasury and things like that because they feel like it and because idiot media is not going to say anything because they're all cowed. And all these cowed people that got elected, all these cowed people sitting on TV, whether it's cable or the network news. I'm disgusted with it. And it doesn't need to be black folks getting baited into it either. You white folks, y'all go ahead and be on the front lines yourselves. But as far as actual policy and what should be happening, recall, impeach, primary, get the people that have disappointed us up out of here. Including the Gavins of the world. Like, okay, so much for your presidency run, since you want to platform goofballs. We got.
Can you explain to me why the governor of the state of California, one of the biggest states in the union, has time for a podcast? Shouldn't you be fixing fires and potholes and going to Washington to get us, our money so we can? I mean, how do you have time for? Why does everybody want my job, Sherri? Kwamel, why does everybody want my job? I mean, shoot, does that mean I get to be governor on the weekends? Like, WTF?
It's just like. Well, Dominique, it's just like why there's so many right-wing grifters in the first place. I even saw that brother, the gay brother Rob Smith, and I say that because I want to kind of put it together two ways. I'm like, okay, yeah, I always say there's nothing wrong with being a black conservative, but this guy's kicking all this this anti-trans stuff and like, oh yeah, it's okay to call Sarah McBride Mr. and all these things, and it's because that's where the money is. And they know that if they pander, that somehow there's always some bodish righty that's gonna say, oh, okay, yeah, you're coming around to the right side. Here's some money. And
well, yeah, I mean the rewards for being a sellout continue. Yeah, because if you're willing to be a turncoat on your own community, I mean that's worked for most every black person except Stacey Dash, who somehow managed not to get paid. But most people, black people, gay people, Latino people who are willing to sell out. That's why they call it sell out. You're meant to get paid.
Not a new thing under the sun there when it comes to that. That's been since the beginning of time. There's been people like that in each community that just...
Why does it seem like they're louder and more numerous now, though?
Well, you're giving people a platform.
Well, again, heavy bread out there. Now, make no mistake, and I'll land it off on this note. I'm not saying that I'm not speaking for the entire queer community because they all have their own ways they're going. Not everybody's down with trans folks. Not everybody's down with whatever person may fall under the queer umbrella.
Not everybody's down with human rights, is what you're saying.
Unfortunately,
trans people are actually humans. Let's start there. Yeah, okay.
And that's the thing. Everybody's losing their principles, including Gavin, for the money or to somehow increase their presidential appeal, and it makes no sense at all. So again, I mean, when you see these types of folks, it's time to RIP them. It's time to RIP them. Recall the Peach primary, or otherwise, it's like, yeah, you're not an option anymore. You're done, son. You're effing done, son, like Dave Chappelle said. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for calling, Kwamel.
I mean, too bad we can't have recall elections on the president. I don't know if we could do that. But as far as Gavin Newsom, pretending he has like a podcast, like a / debate club. He wants to prove he's smarter and can out argue GOP folks.
Except that he wasn't really arguing with Bannon.
Okay.
He was kind of like doing bromance with Bannon.
Yeah, it's
weird.
weird.
He didn't challenge him on like some basic points, like that the election wasn't stolen.
Yeah, I think that Kwamel is right. Well, he's trying to get appeal right on both sides for a potential presidential run. It started with the DeSantis debate. Well, probably before that, but that was like the most notable one.
Yeah, to me, it started with when he vetoed universal pre-K.
Oh, wow.
Saying we can't afford it. And then the reparations veto, because he doesn't want to have that as a ball and chain if he runs for president.
Right.
You know, he's a liberal. He gave universal school to little babies. Oh, he gave reparations to black people in any form or fashion, even restitution, which is really what that bill was that he vetoed. So, I do think it's definitely along the lines of increasing presidential appeal. But don't these Democrats realize when they... Ooh, I'm bad today. I'm about to cuss on the radio every other minute. Don't they realize when they do that, when they sell their selves, when they prostitute themselves like that to the right, they lose their base?
I mean, potentially, I know I would not support another recall against Gavin Newsom. We already been there, done that.
Well, he's about to be termed down.
Yeah, he's on his
What's
way
the
out.
point? I mean, it's 2026,
yeah,
right?
It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like a lesser of two evils. I wouldn't want him out and get somebody even worse in there. I mean, people was complaining about Biden and complaining about Kamala, and now look at him. And Kamala actually had an amazing plan. Oh my gosh, she was trying to give people public jobs without having to get a degree, and home buyers assistance and all these awesome things to help people. And now people are getting fired left and right. People who thought they were safe. When you have a government job, you think you're going to retire. And it doesn't just start at government jobs, by the way. It's trickling down everywhere. And I don't understand how when they say balancing the budget off working class people is going to help our spending, because it's like the cartoon where like the water is spewing out everything. Like you put your hand on one leakage and then another leak come out somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? You firing people left and right and denying them of basic services. You're going to spend somewhere else because they're going to be needing to get resources, and it's going to create a problem that you're going to need to allocate funds to cover up the damage.
I mean, I saw a great article on that yesterday pertaining to Doge. All of the lawsuits from all of the people that have been illegally fired are going to cost way more than he's supposedly saving by cutting those jobs, which are anyway a tiny percentage of the budget. I mean, one thing I am looking forward to, we'll see if he really does it. Trump says he wants to cut the military budget in half. Now, there's something he wants to do that I would actually agree with, except that what he's probably going to do is just fire all the black people and keep all the weaponry and try to make it into a software-driven military like Palantir, the company Palantir, has been pushing for. So his cutting the military budget in half is probably not my cutting the military budget in half. And he's not going to use that money to end child poverty, hunger, and houselessness, which is what I would do with it. Okay. We got news, traffic, and sports right here. And then we're going to continue this conversation only on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Alexandria Icamoni with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A federal judge in Maryland is ordering thousands of fired government employees, including black employees, be reinstated. The judge issued a temporary restraining order against a dozen agencies that had fired their probationary employees. Russian President Vladimir Putin has a number of conditions before he'll agree to a ceasefire with Ukraine that's affecting the people of color who live there. He wants Ukrainian troops in the Russian territory of Kursk to surrender. He also wants details about how a ceasefire would be enforced. Cleanup will continue today after a tornado touched down near Los Angeles during stormy weather on Thursday. There were no reports of injuries. Top Dog Entertainment is expanding beyond music. The company has launched a new film division, TDE Films, and its first movie will be an urban action horror film titled The Zone. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Imagine a photograph of your favorite place in California. Then right in the middle of it, one piece of litter. Litter has no place in our lives, not one piece. Together, let's change that. Clean California. Zero litter is the goal. CleanCA.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
45 points from Luka Doncic was not enough to save the Lakers Thursday night in Milwaukee. The Lakers lost their third straight game, falling to the Bucks 126-109. It's obvious the Lakers are not the team that won 8 in a row and had a 20-4 run since mid-January. LeBron, Jackson Hayes, and Rui Hachimura have been out with injuries during the losing streak. The Lakers need to get healthy soon before they drop further in the Western Conference standings. They were number 2 a week ago, now they're 4th. Before last night's game, a moment of silence was held in honor of Junior Bridgman, who played 10 of his 12 NBA seasons with the Bucks. Bridgman, a legendary and inspirational businessman, passed away Tuesday from an apparent heart attack. He was 71. Bucks players will wear a patch on their jerseys with Bridgman's name the rest of the season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Many of the 39 BLM grassroots chapters across the nation are participating in this honoring of the memory of Breonna Taylor on the anniversary of her death. This BLMLA event is taking place on Sunday, March 16th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Norman Houston Park, 4800 South La Brea in Los Angeles, the park at the summit. For special parking options and more information, visit blmla.org or go to BLM Los Angeles on Instagram. Say her name, Breonna Taylor, and join us in loving on Black women. Happy Women's History Month from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
On January 7th, 2025, the Eaton Canyon Fire scorched Altadena, torching everything in its path. Homes, wealth, and legacy burned in one night. But will Altadena rise from the ashes? I'm James Farr. On the Conversation Live Altadena Rising, we're chronicling the recovery, the resilience, and justice for the nation. This is the show of record. Unapologetically progressive. We're not blacking down. So join me, James Farr, on the Conversation Live Altadena Rising every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific with the rebroadcast on Sunday at noon.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Bam! Out of nowhere. Crashed, hurt,
Don't panic, don't wait, don't call your insurance company. Call 877-CARE-LAW, the car accident attorneys who care about your case and win you the big money you deserve. Car accident, serious injury. Other firms just handle cases. We own them at 877-CARE-LAW. We're the premier injury law firm with a powerhouse team of medical experts who prove your injuries, fight for your rights, and get you the max payout fast. No fees unless you win. Dial 877-CARE-LAW now or visit 877-CARELAW.com.
877-CARE-LAW, 877-CARE-LAW. Hurt in a crash, don't stall, just call 877-CARE-LAW. Faster wins, bigger pay. After an accident, call right away. 877-CARE-LAW, 877-CARE-LAW.
Car accident, injury, don't call your insurance company. Call one team, one win. 877-CARE-LAW. Call now or go to 877-CARELAW.com.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Alrighty. Wow, I did not see this. I guess you did. J-Rock was detained. Locked up for trespassing in the Nickerson Gardens. Make it make sense. What happened? I feel like I'm missing something here. ABC 7 is claiming he was booked on suspicion of felony weapons violation, but they're saying he ran from his car when officers wouldn't tell him why he was being detained. I'd run too. Aren't you supposed to tell me why I'm under arrest?
Right.
Well, maybe Miles. Miles, you know anything about this?
I have no idea, but, anytime man get arrested in his own hood is not a good look, though.
It is not a good look. Well, we'll keep an eye on this. If somebody know, hit me in my DMs. What the heck is going on? Free J-Rock.
Free J-Rock.
Yeah, free J-Rock. They are arresting protesters and rappers. What the heck? So, recall. Speaking of recalls, we were talking about Newsom. They're not going to recall Gavin Newsom. They tried it twice. They failed twice. But hopefully y'all remember how a recall works, because now they are trying to recall the mayor of Los Angeles.
Right.
And
so crazy.
It is crazy, but I mean, so what's going to happen is the head of Google's former wife is bankrolling this thing, as Elon Musk uses his platform to attack our mayor. Musk, as we know, endorsed Caruso when he lost to Karen Bass and spent $104 million to lose. Now they're seizing the moment because of the reaction to the Palisades fire, even though they're blaming her for everything, including areas she doesn't even have jurisdiction over, like Altadena and Malibu. And so if they get they get the signatures, which they probably will, because they got all that money. They do have billionaires backing this effort. If they get that, and then they get it on the ballot, we have a recall. The way it works is the minute you vote to recall the mayor, she's out, and whoever is on the ballot is in. How many people have the money to quickly put up a campaign? Who's going to be on the ballot? We already know who's going to be on the ballot. And it's so funny to me because the LA Times, which is now gone full broligarchy, has an article today who saying that Karen Bass's supporters are attacking billionaires. Do we remember that the LA Times is owned by one of said billionaires?
No.
By South African-born billionaire. The supporters are attacking billionaires. That they're under attack. That she's under attack from wealthy oligarchs, including Rick Caruso and Elon Musk. It's not that we're arguing it. That is what is happening.
Yeah.
That is what is happening. How do you see the recall, Sherri?
OMG. I feel like if the recall was based in fact, it would be, it's really nonsensical, right? When you think about, when you look at the Eden Canyon fire versus the Malibu Palisades fire, you look at Catherine Barger is the LA County Board of Supervisor person who's over Cal Fire. She's like the mayor of Eden Canyon, and Karen Bass is like the mayor of, she is the mayor of like Malibu. Eden Canyon had more structural damage and more fatalities and they not complaining about no budget cut, and there's no threat to our attempted recall of Catherine Barger, who is a white female Republican. Yet the Malibu Palisades fires had less structural damage, less casualties, and allegedly, like, people are claiming a budget. But it's just like, why go after one and not the other if that was truly the issue, right? Secondly, Mayor Bass has made a lot of progress in this fire cleanup. She didn't start the fires, by the way. And she's been doing a phenomenal job at, like, moving the phases along and the debris cleanup and doing what she do. Black people always got to work twice as hard and better to get recognized even a little bit. She's working her butt off to move these fire recovery efforts along and it shows in the data, and people are still coming for her, and so it is an outright attack on the people's vote, right? The people voted for her. There is a smear campaign. You want to blame one person, first of all, for a fire where there was a plethora of issues in place before she got there in her short 2 years before these fires happened. She's doing, like she said, the catastrophic damage was caused by climate change or whatever. If she didn't start the fire, she's been hands-on, lockstep, trying with our federal government cleaning up this place. So if you're gonna look at numbers, and you're going to look at data and impact, there's no factual base on the effort to recall Karen Bass, at all, let alone if that was the problem, why are you not going after Catherine Barger?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what some folks that I've talked to in Altadena have been saying, not to mention the fact that our mayor, the mayor of LA, is helping out Altadena, even though that's not necessarily part of her job, is coordinating to help Malibu, even though she's not the mayor of Malibu. And I think that if you really break it down, what are they saying that she did wrong? She went to Ghana. That's it. That's the main thing they're saying. She went to Ghana. And then they didn't like the fact that she said she was going to open back up the Palisades, and then she reversed on that. Well, she said she wasn't going to open up because they didn't have the money to keep paying for 24/7 LAPD, to guard that. And then when Gavin Newsom stepped up and gave them the money, she reversed course. That's not weird. But the main thing they're mad about is she was in Africa, and I've said it many times. If she would have been in England, nobody would be saying anything about that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely racially motivated. And I hope that people realize that if you don't want a copy-paste situation of what's going on at our nation's capital to happen in Los Angeles, then you should not support a recall. If you don't like what's going on with cutting social safety nets for everyday people who are not rich to be able to survive and live and take care of their families and take care of their health, if you don't want that happening locally, then you should not support a recall, because the same people that are behind our current federal administration are trying to trickle down to our economic powerhouse, which is Los Angeles, California, and take control. They lost. They're mad. So don't fall for the okie doke, folks. This recall is purely BS. And if you want to know the truth, just look at the data.
Yeah. The thing about it also is that you're not tracking the fact of what happens after a recall. This is what I really am going to keep talking about, because people don't get it. Mm-hmm. Whoever is on the ballot that day becomes the mayor the next day. Mm-hmm. It could be, me. It could be Rick Caruso. Could be Elon Musk. Whoever had the money and the pre-warning to get on that ballot.
It could be Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Or Larry Elder. Right? They will be the mayor the next day.
Right. You don't want that. You don't know them. You don't know what kind of crazy these people are, okay?
Well, the problem is that we don't even know who will get on that ballot. We could have a choice between three terrible people, and whoever of those terrible people gets the most votes is the mayor the next day.
Come on, humanity.
The next day. So I think that's really worth noting. And in the past, Democrats have resisted getting in on recalls. Like with Newsom, remember, no one wanted to go on the ballot as the alternative in case he was recalled. So what you could end up with is just Republicans or supposed former Republicans like Rick Caruso, because they're the only ones that are willing to backstab the mayor by going on the ballot. So it is a side door for Republicans who cannot win through traditional elections in California.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I know Gray Davis was recalled, and that's how Arnold Schwarzenegger, our one-term governor Schwarzenegger, got in office. But I don't know if we ever had a successful recall of a LA city mayor.
You know what? I think there was, but I might be wrong. I can't remember either. Not since I've been in LA.
I mean, you look at the work that Karen Bass is doing, it's ridiculous, right? Like, she's opened up a like a recovery center, like a resource center. Yeah, I mean, she's doing great work, like more work than any person probably would do in her position. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are like, we gotta work harder and better. Like, look, like than everybody to get notarized. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Everybody know it. And the reason why we have to is because people underestimate us with believes that we are where we are because of a handout, right? Of a DEI issue as opposed to our experience, our knowledge, and our actual work performance.
I guess, yes. Frank L. Shaw was defeated by Fletcher Boron. This is 1938.
That guy.
He was the first recalled mayor in American history.
Wow.
And it was in LA.
Wow.
So apparently there is a history of this. Go ahead.
That guy, Fletcher Boron, was a mayor for a long time, too. That City Hall East Plaza is named after him, but I digress.
So you can get recalled and still keep your name on the plaza, apparently. But yeah, that did happen. Sherri Bell and Dominique DiPrima, you're invited in, 800-920-1580. Never mind that. So, okay. Miles says, wait, hold on. So we're going to wait and hold on. So, Sherri, what do we do in this moment? I mean, I feel like you said it. The mayor is doing her job. Are they doing a good enough job with their messaging? I feel like they're a little bit cautious or polite, and I feel like there needs to be a louder voice explaining what's going on with the mayor and the work that's being done. I also, for me, I don't see how we could have a better person for this moment, right, with the fires and the recovery.
Yeah.
Not only is she a community organizer, she's worked on the federal level as a congresswoman. She's worked on the state level as the head of our assembly. And so she's a healthcare professional. I don't know how you could be more qualified, but that didn't help Kamala Harris. So what's to be done right now?
I mean, I heard somebody say that Democrats, or she's not a Democrat, like, in her role, but like sometimes people got to stop wanting to be the adult in the room, right? Like, you always want to be like, say the right things that makes, like, you got to be able to get petty too, and show receipts too. You got to be bolder. You got to be stronger. You got to like state facts. You got to get people involved and speak to the psyche of people. People want leadership that's not going to back down, that's strong, that's going to really touch their heartstrings, right? Get into the hearts of people's values and what they believe in, right? We don't need those same old talking points that's like diplomatic and, fair. Not to say you can't be diplomatic and fair, but you got to speak to the hearts and minds of people with strength.
Well, Karen Bass is not a showboat. Our mayor is not a showboat. But you're right. I mean, that's why Republicans hate Jasmine Crockett and AOC so much, because they're taking bold progressive positions, and they're not afraid to say
bleach blind, but no.
Yeah, exactly. Or F off, which is what she said.
I love it.
When asked what would she say to Elon Musk, F off.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. 800-920-1580 if you want to get in on this. It is not too late. Dominique DiPrima and Sherri Bell for KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
LA property owners, join us to house more veterans. By accepting veteran housing vouchers, you will receive guaranteed rent while providing a stable and safe home that will make a difference in their lives. Help house our heroes. Expedited processing and dedicated support for property owners is available because every veteran deserves a place to call home. Email houseourvets@lacity.org, HOUSEOURVETS @lacity.org for more information.
I feel so alone.
I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
How can I help my kid if I can't help myself?
I can't remember when I wasn't stressed. I don't like it inside.
When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts and emotions, it's okay to get help. You are not alone. CalHope is here for you with free, safe, and confidential mental health resources for youth, young adults, families, and you. Find support now at calhope.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail, because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio, KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, so LA Times is LA Timesing. I feel so, I'm a subscriber to this paper, and they do some good work. But I feel like ever since this election, when I believe the billionaires had a meeting and they decided we're not endorsing Harris and that we're not going to allow our editorial boards to endorse Harris. And you saw the Washington Post saying they're going to let Jeff Bezos saying that the editorial boards, the page is going to reflect his values. It's not going to have opposition viewpoints because that's the job of social media. And the owner of the LA Times, another South African-born billionaire, is saying that he rolled out his bias meter and they had to roll it back in because it seemed to be an apologist for the KKK.
Wow.
And they got national criticism. So the headline, with mayor facing recall threat, her supporters go after billionaires. Ooh. That's your headline.
Poor billionaires.
That's your headline. And this proponents of the recall say Bass has mishandled the wildfire, public safety, and other issues. Public safety? Crime is down. Mm-hmm. Homelessness is down. What are you talking about? And everything that the cops asked for, she gave them, which is not my fave. Mm-hmm. But you, how are you complaining about that? Oh, the rallying cry. So they're saying we're claiming that she's under attack, but she is under attack. Yeah. Elon Musk has called her a Karen.
Wow. Well, that is her name, but
yeah.
But I mean, they lie.
But he's the biggest Karen of all.
Yeah. No, they lie. Those people, the billionaires who control the media, who want to maintain their power and best interests and want to bankroll people, because the Supreme Court said that corporations are people, and they can bankroll people and get their values represented. Those people lie. They lie all the time. That's why when you look, like you said, crime is actually down. You got to look at the numbers and the data. Now, I know data can be skewed, and you got to really look where data comes from, but you got to look at the facts. And I think that a lot of times when people get on everybody should know, even Republican, GOP, they got to know that Donald Trump is a liar, right? And like even Elon Musk is a liar, talking about Social Security is a Ponzi scheme to try to get rid of it. And when it's helping millions of people who aren't able to work because of medical issues and injuries and being older, right? Like, people got to
not only that, it's not a handout. We pay into it our whole life. It comes out of our check. Elon, you might not know too much about that because you were born rich, been rich your whole life. That's not even an entitlement.
Right.
It's an investment that we, the American people, make in our futures.
So what you were saying about like the messaging that has to come from quote unquote progressives or whatever, like now is not the time to be mindful and demure. Right. You got to be out here and you got to speak facts and you got to be tough. Because I think that when people talk about Democrats need to change their messaging because it's not working anymore, having Cardi B and, all those people on stage isn't working anymore to win the votes. That has shown to be somewhat true, based on, some of the red states that were swing states that was blue before and now they were red, and I guess for me, I don't know it all, right? But what I feel is that the people want facts, they want receipts, they want strength. They want people like you said, like Jasmine Crockett, who's gonna spit facts in a like aggressive, like concrete, hard, in your face way, right? That's gonna galvanize the troops and stand on business.
That's not political speak, respectability politics,
right?
And I think the Democrats are really struggling right now because they're bringing a knife to a gunfight, and in preemptively surrendering. I'm glad to see some folks stepping up, for the mayor in this city, and but it's really hard to cut through mis and disinformation right now. So, and especially when you have the paper of record piling on. They're saying, this article says, Bass has taken heat in recent weeks for ousting LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley, who's been embraced by the firefighters union that's their job, first of all, for saying publicly that her department is severely underfunded. Actually, you don't get to go on TV and criticize your boss. No one gets to do that in any job, but especially in the middle of a crisis. And interesting, they're not mentioning here that the black firefighters union is criticizing Crowley, and they're saying that it's good that she was ousted.
Right, because she let stuff fly under her nose without addressing it that was like racially discriminatory. I mean, now is the time to punch hard with the facts. Like, look here, like you could be a Democrat, you could be a Republican, you could be a progressive or conservative. What I care about is the truth. Yeah. And what I do not like is misleading people with lies to advance policies that are not going to be in people's best interest, that's going to be in maintaining a current power structure that is in place. What I like to hear is the truth and the facts. And so if you're not going to come with that, then people got to be willing to hit hard and hit fast with it. Now, Chuck Schumer, not hitting hard, not hitting fast, not maintaining strength. I know we're talking local, but that's a national issue.
It's a national, it's
we
a national
get federal
conversation.
funding.
I mean, Chuck Schumer is out on Figueroa right now, as far as I'm concerned. Come on now, act like a leader.
Oh no.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, your point is a national point that resonates locally. We're gonna have to stand up and not act like punks and not move like punks.
These people is coming. These people that are rich are doing and bankrolling people that's going to maintain rich interests. These people are aiming to screw up poor people's lives. People like for instance, like public sector work, right? Federal work is public sector work. City and county work is public sector work. These jobs have been like a stronghold for black workers since a long time, right? Like these jobs are what people use not only to feed their families, but like their relatives' families, like, because you support other people, you know, you help your family out. You going after these jobs, calling them wasteful, when a lot of these agencies were created and birthed out of the fight for workers' rights. When you think about OSHA, who's a federal agency, that it was formed out of white coal miners being sterile, they're not able to have children because of chemicals. Agencies like that were created out of the conditions of the working class. The FDA, even though they're kind of weak, you know, food factories had roaches and rats and would like feeding us with contaminated food. We need these kind of agencies to help safeguard society. And you want to that's the first thing on your chopping block?
Yep. We have to leave it there. Oh, Sherri Bell just got rolling. Thank you so much for coming in, Sherri. Sherri De La Ghetto is where you can find her. Freedman Friday is next. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A federal judge in Maryland is ordering thousands of fired government employees, including black employees, be reinstated. The judge issued a temporary restraining order against a dozen agencies that had fired their probationary employees. Russian President Vladimir Putin has a number of conditions before he'll agree to a ceasefire with Ukraine that's affecting the people of color who live there. He wants Ukrainian troops in the Russian territory of Kursk to surrender. He also wants details about how a ceasefire would be enforced. Cleanup will continue today after a tornado touched down near Los Angeles during stormy weather on Thursday. There were no reports of injuries. Top Dog Entertainment is expanding beyond music. The company has launched a new film division, TDE Films, and its first movie will be an urban action horror film titled The Zone. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Imagine a photograph of your favorite place in California. Then right in the middle of it, one piece of litter. Litter has no place in our lives, not one piece. Together, let's change that. Clean California. Zero litter is the goal. CleanCA.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
45 points from Luka Doncic was not enough to save the Lakers Thursday night in Milwaukee. The Lakers lost their third straight game, falling to the Bucks 126-109. It's obvious the Lakers are not the team that won 8 in a row and had a 20-4 run since mid-January. LeBron, Jackson Hayes, and Rui Hachimura have been out with injuries during the losing streak. The Lakers need to get healthy soon before they drop further in the Western Conference standings. They were number 2 a week ago, now they're 4th. Before last night's game, a moment of silence was held in honor of Junior Bridgman, who played 10 of his 12 NBA seasons with the Bucks. Bridgman, a legendary and inspirational businessman, passed away Tuesday from an apparent heart attack. He was 71. Bucks players will wear a patch on their jerseys with Bridgman's name the rest of the season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to announce that, like George and Weezy,
We're moving on now.
earlier this year, we were named as semifinalists for the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Wait for it. Wait for it.
You ready?
KBLA Talk 1580 was recently selected as one of 10 finalists being considered for this prestigious award. Hundreds of organizations, institutions, and even cities were nominated in the selection process. But KBLA Talk 1580 has made it to the finals. You're invited to watch live on Wednesday, April 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, as Eco America announces the winner and the runner-up, awarding over $200,000 in prize money. To watch live, just go to ecoamerica.org to register and attend the online ceremony. That's ecoamerica.org. Don't miss the presentation of the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025, Wednesday, April 16th, and wish us luck. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Said I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need.
share with you my story. Would you share your dollar with me? Bad times are coming and I reap what I done sowed. Hey, hey. Well, let me tell you something. All that glitters ain't gold. Hey, hey. It's been a long old troublesome road. And I'm looking for somebody come and help me carry this load. I need dollars.
Yeah. Speaking of Aloe Black, he will be at Black Women Are Divine on Sunday. If you're in Los Angeles, I'll be hosting it from 11 to 4. Reclamation and celebration of the life of Breonna Taylor and the Black woman, divine femininity. Time for Freedman Friday right now, and I'm so excited to have back on the show a long-time fighter in this space, an author. She is an attorney. She's a civil and human rights attorney, a scholar, and an activist as well. President of the Reparation Education Project, thought leader. She's served as a commissioner and chair of the D.C. Commission on Human Rights, worked for the Open Society.